Gwen Verdon Gwyneth Evelyn Gwen Verdon was born on January 13, 1925, in Culver City, California. At the age of 68, she unexpectedly reunited with television audiences in a brief but impressive guest role as Maisie Whitman on Walker, Texas Ranger, bringing extraordinary charm and artistic grace to fans of the Western action series. With her elegant aura and extensive experience, Gwen Verdon left an indelible mark, even in a small television role. On October 18, 2000, Gwen Verdon died at the age of 75 of a heart attack, suffered while visiting her daughter in Vermont. Her death so profoundly shocked the American theater community that Broadway theaters simultaneously dimmed their marquees to pay tribute. She left behind an estimated fortune of approximately $10 million, largely due to a distinguished career, with 4 prestigious Tony Awards and countless historic roles on Broadway and in important films, such as Damn Yankees from 1958 and Cocoon from 1985. Gwen Verdon's life was not without tragedy either, especially in her marriage to legendary choreographer Bob Fosse. They were artistically connected, but also turbulent, and Fosse's numerous infidelities left Verdon facing terrible loneliness and the pressures of the spotlight. She once confessed that trying to be a mother and maintain the peak of her dancing career exhausted her both spiritually and physically, and that these grueling performances may have contributed to the weakening of her heart. Later, although she never remarried, Verdon continued to support Fosse until his death, portraying a love story that was both romantic and bittersweet, a story that Broadway itself will forever remember. Robert Wall as Billy. Robert Allen Wall was born on August 26, 1939 in San Jose, California, and was a legendary martial arts master as well as a famous action film actor. In 1993, at the age of 58, he starred in the television series Walker, Texas Ranger, as Billy, a seasoned fighter who added weight and authenticity to the martial arts scenes on the show. Wall's Billy was built as a tough opponent, clearly reflecting the real-life fighting skills he had honed throughout his life. On January 30, 2022, Robert Wall breathed his last in Los Angeles, at the age of 82, after a short illness at the age of 82. He was buried simply and quietly, in the spirit of discipline of a true martial artist. Wall's net worth was estimated at approximately $2 million, primarily for his illustrious years alongside Bruce Lee in the films Enter the Dragon, 1973, and Way of the Dragon, 1972, as well as for his long association with Chuck Norris. In addition to acting, Wall also served as a director of World Black Belt Inc., leaving behind a rich legacy in the American martial arts community. Robert Wall's life once caused a stir due to his bitter feud with Steven Seagal during the 1988-1992 period, when he publicly organized the Dirty Dozen, a group of champions willing to challenge Seagal after his arrogant comments about American boxers. The physical trauma of his authentically acted action scenes repeatedly put Wall in danger, but he remained resilient and steadfast, true to the spirit of the karate he taught. Robert Wall's death closed a chapter on a martial arts legend, leaving a void difficult to fill in the hearts of action fans. Noble Willingham as C.D. Parker Noble Henry Willingham Jr. was born on August 31, 1931, in Mineola, Texas. At the age of 61, he gained the recognition of millions of viewers for his role as C.D. Parker in the series Walker, Texas Ranger, a bar owner and former Texan, an irreplaceable friend and mentor to the main character played by Chuck Norris. C.D. Parker's image, simple, chivalrous, and full of humanity, made Willingham an indispensable figure for the first 6 seasons of the series. Noble's life came to an end on January 17, 2004, when he breathed his last from a heart attack in Palm Springs, California, at the age of 72. His funeral was simple, much like his outspoken personality in real life. His net worth was estimated at around $4 million, amassed over decades of struggle in Hollywood, with notable moments such as The Last Picture Show from 1971, Good Morning, Vietnam from 1987, and his career peak in Walker, Texas Ranger. In his private life, Noble Willingham forged a strong marriage with his wife and children, avoiding the scandals that surrounded many other stars of his time. But beneath this calm lurked a quiet tragedy. Financial pressures in his youth, when he abandoned teaching to pursue acting, forced Noble to struggle to survive, taking on any supporting role to support his family. It wasn't until he became involved in Hollywood and made his mark with The Last Picture Show that he found true stability, then reached the pinnacle of fame 3 decades later with his role in Walker, Texas Ranger. His decision to step down from the role of C.D. Parker in the 6th season to run for Congress sparked much controversy, leaving viewers mourning the loss of such a loyal and important icon on the show. Although he suffered a political defeat, Noble will forever be remembered as a role model, from Korean War soldier to high school teacher to bar owner CD. Parker, a man always willing to sacrifice for justice. And when, at the age of 72, his heart stopped beating, it marked the end of an extraordinary journey. Cinematic in every sense, one that reverently silenced everyone who heard it. Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Floyd Red Crow Westerman, Uncle Ray Firewalker, was born on August 17, 1936, on the Lake Traverse Reservation in South Dakota. In 1993, at the age of 57, he made a profound impression on television audiences with his role as Uncle Ray Firewalker, the experienced and wise uncle of the main character of the series, Walker, Texas Ranger. With his world-weary gaze and warm, deep voice, he brought to the screen the image of a respected Native American, a true community spirit. Sadly, on December 13, 2007, Floyd Red Crow Westerman died at the age of 71 in Los Angeles from complications of leukemia, ending a life full of struggle and hope. His funeral was held amidst the mourning of his family, his wife, Rosie, and 5 children. Westerman's net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $1 million, a modest sum compared to the enormous legacy he left behind in music and film. With iconic roles in Dances with Wolves, 1990, The X-Files, and, of course, Walker, Texas Ranger. However, his life was never a bed of roses. Westerman was once forcibly cut off from his culture, had his hair cut, and was forbidden to speak his native language at boarding school during his teenage years, which left him with a lifelong spiritual wound. Later, when he turned to acting, he was once again faced with Hollywood's deeply ingrained prejudices regarding the portrayal of Native Americans. He fought a quiet but arduous battle against them, even as millions of viewers forever remembered his calm countenance and dignified demeanor on screen. Ned Romero as Ned Gray Fox. Ned Romero was born on December 4, 1926, in Franklin, Louisiana, with Chitimacha, Spanish, and French blood flowing in his veins. In 1994, at the age of 67, he played Ned Gray Fox, a strong tribal leader representing pride in native culture, in Walker, Texas Ranger. His character appeared briefly, but exuded dignity, leaving a lasting impression on fans of modern westerns. Romero died on November 4, 2017, just a month before his 91st birthday, living to a peaceful old age. He died of natural causes in California, leaving behind an artistic legacy and a net worth estimated at approximately $1 million, amassed over a career spanning more than half a century, both on the operatic stage and in television. Ned's body was cremated and his ashes placed in a private grave, in accordance with his simple wish, without the need for public fame. Few people knew that Ned Romero experienced quiet upheaval, struggling to break free from Hollywood stereotypes, being forced into cliched native roles, and struggling to gain recognition as a voice for his community. His second marriage, to singer-dancer Jolene Lanter, also brought sadness, as they separated repeatedly due to endless touring. Still, Romero fought valiantly for his own, just as he once conquered Broadway in 3 for Tonight in 1954, or brought the determination of Chief Joseph to I Will Fight No More Forever in 1975. Robert Forster, Robert Wallace Forster Jr., was born on July 13, 1941, in Rochester, New York. At the age of 52, he joined the cast of Walker, Texas Ranger, playing the role of Ricky Ricketts, a guest character, short, but still exuding the strength and maturity that were his trademarks. Robert Forster captivated audiences with his calm, composure, and depth of acting, honed over 5 decades of combat in Hollywood. Robert Forster breathed his last on October 11, 2019, the very day of the premiere of El Camino, a film from the Breaking Bad franchise, in which he reprised his role as Ed Galbraith. The cause of death was a rapidly growing brain tumor that took his life at the age of 78. Before he died, he had seen the film and received a warm reception from the public, a belated but well-deserved recognition of his enduring talent. His net worth was estimated at around $10 million, a worthy achievement after countless starring roles in Jackie Brown and Mulholland Drive following Breaking Bad. Forster's life was not without tragedy either. 2 marriages ended in divorce, and he was left to bear the responsibility of raising 4 children as his career declined in the 1980s, limiting him to minor roles. There was even a time when Forster considered quitting acting altogether due to financial exhaustion. The pressure, combined with the emotional upheaval, undermined his health. It wasn't until 1997, with his role as Max Cherry in Jackie Brown, that he revived, reviving a name that had seemed buried. Sadly, when Hollywood honored him again in Breaking Bad and El Camino, he He succumbed to brain cancer, a cruel end that left audiences silently saddened. His role as Ricky Ricketts in Walker, Texas Ranger, though only a brief appearance, still deeply cemented the image of a tough guy, facing life's storms like Robert Forster himself in real life. Lane Smith as Pastor Thornton Powers. Walter Lane Smith III was born on April 29, 1936, in Memphis, Tennessee. At the age of 62, he starred in the film Walker, Texas Ranger, as Pastor Thornton Powers. It was a brief guest appearance, but he exuded the authority and gravitas that were his trademark. Lane Smith had already made a strong impact on audiences with his roles as politicians, lawyers, and newspaper editors, thanks to his warm, deep voice and expressive facial features. His net worth was estimated at around $3 million, the result of nearly 4 decades of dedicated work and prominent supporting roles, most notably as Perry White and District Attorney Jim Trotter III in My Cousin Vinny. Lane Smith was a private person in his private life, but he once admitted to professional insecurity, a lack of roles, income, and self-confidence. Despite this, he managed to maintain a clean image, never abusing psychoactive substances or giving in to temptations. It was amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, that dealt him the cruelest blow, turning the final chapter of his life into a series of desperate days. Smith's death ended the career of a talented supporting actor who always brought depth, edge, and courage to every role, even when he appeared only briefly in Walker, Texas Ranger. Mako Iwamatsu Jako Dr. Henry Lee Makoto Iwamatsu, also known internationally by his stage name Mako, was born on December 10, 1933, in Kobe, Japan. At the age of 60, he starred in the film Walker, Texas Ranger as Dr. Henry Lee, a guest character who made a strong impression with his scholarly and calm demeanor, reflecting his true temperament. With a career spanning over 50 years and 165 roles, Mako became one of the few Asian faces to truly establish himself in Hollywood. On July 21, 2006, Mako breathed his last in California after a battle with esophageal cancer, dying at the age of 72. This cruel disease plagued him for the last years of his life, gradually weakening his physical strength. Before he died, he managed to finish his role as Splinter in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as a final farewell to the audience. Mako's net worth was estimated at around $2 million, a modest sum compared to the immense contributions he left behind in such classics as Sand Pebbles from 1966 or his deeply moving role as Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mako's life was an extraordinary journey, but also one fraught with tragedy. After World War II, he left Japan to reunite with his parents in the United States, only to soon experience racial discrimination and a stagnant career in Hollywood, which still favored Asians. In his early years, he struggled with various odd jobs, bearing the burden of homesickness and financial pressures, before blossoming with undeniable talent. And when his heart stopped beating, the entire Asian American film community lost a pioneer, a symbol of resilience and an unwavering passion for the art form. Michael Parks as Caleb Hooks. Michael Parks was born on April 24, 1940 in California. At the age of 55, he played Caleb Hooks in Walker, Texas Ranger in 1993. He rose to fame with his leading role in the television series Then Came Bronson, in which he played a wandering poet. He was also a successful singer, with the theme song Long Lonesome Highway reaching the Billboard Hot 100. Later, Parks was invited back to the screen by a new generation of directors, such as Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, and Kevin Smith, with impressive supporting roles in Kill Bill, From Dusk Till Dawn, Red State, and Fang, thus confirming his profound and innovative acting talent. Parks died on May 9, 2017, in Los Angeles at the age of 77. Although the cause of death was not disclosed, his life was full of turbulent events, including rejection by Hollywood after conflicts with the producers of the film Bronson. He also had to face personal losses, such as the breakdown of his marriage and the sudden death of his second wife. His net worth was estimated at around $4 million, part of the value of his decades-long career, despite its ups and downs. But Parks's life was never a bed of roses. Married 5 times, he witnessed his second wife commit suicide after taking pills, and once fell into a deep financial crisis when his reputation was tarnished by the appearance of Bronson in 1970. His stubborn, uncompromising personality caused producers to turn their backs on him, relegating him to years of obscurity, forcing him to take small, forgotten roles. Only when Tarantino brought him back to life in the 2003-2004 film Kill Bill did Parks burst into life on the big screen. And then he continued to glow in 2011's Red State with a wild, rebellious energy, as if to declare that he was born to portray strange and mysterious characters, even though in real life his heart had been ravaged by tragedy and loneliness. Clu Gulager as Prince Jameson. William Martin Clu Gulager was born on November 16, 1928, in Oklahoma. At the age of 65, he starred in the 1993 film Walker, Texas Ranger as Duke Jameson. He had already gained fame for his roles as Billy the Kid in The Tall Man, and as Emmett Riker in The Virginian, which made him a familiar character in American television westerns. In the 1980s, Gulager made a remarkable return to the horror genre, appearing in The Return of the Living Dead and A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and then continued acting opposite his son in the Feast franchise, proving a remarkable endurance in a career that spanned more than 60 years. Gulager died on August 5, 2022, at the age of 93, at his home in Los Angeles of natural causes. During the 1970s and 1980s, as the Western genre gradually declined in importance, he faced many challenges, compounded by the loss of his wife in 1990, which cast a shadow over his final years. Still, his estimated net worth of around $2 million still reflected the value of his proudly American roles in television and film. Few people knew that behind that tough exterior, Gulager had suffered the shock of losing his beloved wife, Miriam, after more than half a century together, and had subsequently struggled with loneliness in recent years. There were no scandals involving drug abuse or affairs. His only weakness was his unwavering passion for acting, ignoring any suggestions for rest and continuing to work even as his health deteriorated. His final role in the 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood provided a stunning finale before he quietly departed the stage, leaving a deep sadness in the hearts of Immortal Cowboys fans. James Drury as Captain Tom Price. James Child Drury Jr. was born on April 18, 1934, in New York City. At the age of 59, he starred in Walker, Texas Ranger, as Captain Tom Price, a rugged, cowboy-esque character reminiscent of the legendary style of the Virginian. With his rugged build and calm demeanor, Drury became a true Western icon, ingrained in the memories of generations of television viewers. He died on April 6, 2020, at the age of 85, of natural causes, capping a career spanning more than half a century. Although he struggled financially and with a decline in acting opportunities after The Virginian ended, Drury managed to maintain his reputation by portraying a strong, sincere Western hero. His net worth was estimated at around $1.5 million, primarily from his classic roles on The Virginian, as well as supporting television projects. Few people know that Drury had to battle polio at the age of 10, which nearly dashed his acting dreams. He later endured 2 failed marriages before finding peace with his third wife, with whom he lived until her death in 2019. Drury rarely engaged in scandal or serious flaws, but he once admitted that acting left him feeling empty, and opportunities became increasingly scarce after the enormous success of The Virginian. His role as Captain Tom Price in Walker, Texas Ranger helped revive audiences' heroic memories, reminding them of the image of a righteous, steadfast, and temperamental cowboy, a truly fitting capstone to the Western star's legendary career. Clarence Gilliard, Jr. as James Trevette. Clarence Darnell Gilliard, Jr. was born on December 24, 1955, in Moses Lake, Washington. At the age of 37, he became recognizable to millions of viewers for his role as James Jimmy Trevette, the loyal partner who stood shoulder to shoulder with Chuck Norris and Walker, Texas Ranger, for 8 seasons. Trevette's image as an intelligent, dedicated, and chivalrous hero made Clarence an unforgettable television icon throughout the 1990s. On November 28, 2022, Clarence Gilliard Jr. died in Las Vegas after a long illness, at the age of 66. Although the cause of death was never officially confirmed, many believe that cancer quietly destroyed his health. He passed away in the arms of his family, leaving a deep sadness among his students, colleagues, and fans worldwide. Gilliard's estimated net worth at the time of his death was around $5 million, amassed from his iconic roles in the films Top Gun 1986, Die Hard 1980, Matlock 1989-92, and, of course, Walker, Texas Ranger, the series that brought him to the height of his fame. However, in the spotlight, Clarence once struggled with the mistakes of his youth. In his 20s, he descended into alcoholism, partying, and drug abuse, to the point that his parents had to force him to leave home. His dream of becoming an athlete also crumbled, leaving him virtually without purpose. It was a theater program at California State University that saved Clarence, helping him rediscover himself and embark on a spectacular artistic journey. He later converted to Catholicism, built a disciplined life, avoided bad habits, and devoted himself to caring for his family, having 2 marriages and 6 children. Although James Trevette's life ended with illness, his image as a loyal and heroic man will remain forever in the hearts of the public.